Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality at Leerecs.com.
All right, so we have Selma Street Chemical Company, and you are based on...
We're in New Orleans, Louisiana.
New Orleans. All right, so we have Selma Street Chemical Company based in New Orleans, and the music, as you can hear, is fantastic.
On the case, if you gotta go, leave me in ashes. I'll call on you some sunny day.
It's just amazing, and we have all the members here, so why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Alright, I'll go first. I'm Rob Schechter, I'm on bass.
Brian Sachs, drums.
Taylor Creed, guitar.
Francis Repass, sing, guitar.
Yeah, he did some acoustic guitar on the recording, and I think I did some keys too. Somebody hit a tambourine at some point.
Hand clap, shakers.
Yeah, and we recorded all the drums for that track right here in my living room. And all the guitars and bass were done here, overdubs. Let's see here. Francis went into another studio to do all the vocals and all those overdubs. And then your brother-in-law, right?
Yes, did the mixing.
We're keeping it close to home.
Yeah. Brother-in-law Nick Bitter did the mixing.
He'll be doing the mastering too, at some juncture.
So it is a true homemade, self-made production. It really sounds absolutely professional. So, what is the secret? The mixer, the technicians, the talent, of course. But what do you think it was the most challenging part of this recording?
Learning to do it and then doing it.
Yeah.
It was a very long process.
Yeah.
A lot of takes that didn't make it in. A lot of recordings in places that didn't make it in.
Yeah, I think we started with just kind of like a scratch recording, and then we did all the drums, and that was probably like a year ago. And then we had this huge ghetto jury-rigged system with like a whole bunch of audio inputs going into the computer, and then we re-put together all of the tracks for the drums, and I think that was like the most challenging part. And then finally getting music recordings that we were happy enough to live with.
Yeah.
What I get is that the drums are live. They're not MIDI or anything. They're real drums.
Oh no!
Right. Yeah. We had the whole drum set here. Bought a bunch of like microphones, and some of it was just like getting like Shure FM50 or the SM58s, and just like sticking that around the thing, and your musical workhorse there, and
What do you think? What do you think was the most important part to get this such quality in the sound of drums? What do you think?
I was pretty baffled on it. Like when I started mixing it myself and was slowly driving myself crazy with like trying to get like the drum sound quality to where I was really happy with it, and then Nick somehow was able to put whatever kind of black magic he did on there to get like a really wide like drum cymbal crash sound that it was just eluding me. So I don't know what he did there, but it's pretty awesome the way like it sounds so full, and like you're in the living room listening to Brian smash some shit.
Yeah.
Just making sure that
it is
best performance possible is also helps.
There was a lot of rehearsal.
Exactly. That was going to be my next point. But for how long have you been playing? that I know, maybe more than 3 years.
Close to 5, I think.
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah. You joined Francis?
I joined in 2014.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for almost 5 years as a quartet. Previously, with another year before that as a trio.
6 years probably.
Yeah.
Who was the original member? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the beginnings and the origin? How did the band came to come about? Who was the first one and the last member?
Well, I guess I was technically the first member. I was just moved to New Orleans and I was looking for bands, and I found an ad for a prog rock band that was looking for a guitarist. And I was like, I don't really play prog rock, but then I clicked on it and it said like Tool, Nine Inch Nails. I was like, oh, I can do that. So I joined up with this bass player. And he was the sort of the leader of the band, and then he found Brian on Craigslist, and we were playing for a few times. You know, we'd rehearsed a few times, and then
times it just kind of fizzled out, and then Rob switched.
and it, yeah, we fizzled out. The bass player ended up leaving,
Yeah, it's like
and I switched to bass, and we put out an ad for guitarist and found Taylor, and he was the second guy we looked at, and we're like, all right, this is, even though it doesn't bar his bar chords, I think he can.
I don't even know what that means, man. Yeah, I moved to Louisiana in like early 2013, and the first thing I did when I got here was hop on Craigslist and look at people to jam with. Before I like looked for a job or anything, I'm like, this is New Orleans, damn it, we're gonna make some music. And yeah,
next thing you know, he's in my living room, you know, playing.
Yeah.
Taylor started writing music, and yeah.
We did that for about a year.
Yeah, we had a couple live shows, but I was feeling like I was half-assing both singing and guitar playing. And I wanted to full-ass one thing. So we found Francis.
On Craigslist.
On Craigslist.
Yeah.
But I've always been here.
Craigslist.
I'm a New Orleanian, and I think I played with them for like a couple of weeks, and then I was like, you guys, I can't be in a band. And then I like left for like a year, and then Taylor just asked me again out of the blue, like after New Year's on 2014. He was like, do you want to be in that band again? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. So I've been playing with them ever since.
Yeah. Stop running away and start singing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can confirm that singing and playing is just a half-ass thing, you know.
What do you mean with that?
Sorry.
Do you feel that it's very complicated? You should focus on only one thing. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I think, I don't understand the one-man bands, people who, it's like doing two things at once, multitasking, that's why I don't do it generally.
Yeah, it took me a while to accept that maybe I'm not a singer that I should be. Maybe I'll do some oohs and ahs in the background or something.
He's gotten pretty good at the oohs and ahs, actually.
Taylor's become a very good background vocalist.
Very good. Yes, extremely.
It definitely, whatever you do, it definitely takes full focus, and if you want to perform to your best ability, so definitely I get that. But I was thinking, based in New Orleans and with such a culture with so much music, how is it? Is it complicated to be on the surface of or make a name to yourself? Or how is it? How do you feel being a band in
our experience? Yes, it is very difficult. Yeah, if you have any ideas, we're really open to hearing any. Our plan was to make really good recordings and try and parlay that into some degree of, getting sweet shows, playing with other bands, which we've done before, but we'd love to do it in huge quantity, great amount, great quality.
So many bands. It's very hard to make a name for yourself, but then again, there's tons of opportunity to, be a small band.
There's a lot of live music venues, and it's definitely one of like the premier music cities in the world.
Yeah.
Like some of the guys like you'll just see walking down the street, you're just like, oh my god, this is like one of the best musicians I've ever seen, and it's just like some dude sitting on like a street corner just doing his thing. There's like a lot of inspiration, like no matter where you go, and you'll be surprised where you find it.
Well, my point, I guess my take on that is the only way it's not going to happen, 100% sure it's not going to happen, is if you don't do anything about it. So at least you've been together for the amount of time, 3, 4 years, 5 years, and it came about to, I guess you're playing live, right? You're playing live and playing gigs, and
Oh yeah.
right, making music and making this fantastic recording. Is this a single type of recording? Are you planning to make a full record? What are your plans about that?
Full record.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 8 more tracks in the work right now, and planning on getting back in the studio to do another 2 this spring.
So
Yeah, we're pretty busy on the recording front.
We may just roll them out one at a time, but we're definitely going to compile them once we have them all. So, just an album.
And what are your plans in the meantime? Do you have like a regular schedule or certain venues that you always play where people can find you? What are the places that, if I go to New Orleans, I would find you, and when?
Bands don't always do residencies here. There's a few bands like that, but I don't think we do a residency anywhere. Nor I don't know if we would.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now we're back on the hustle, trying to hit up booking managers and getting back out there. So.
Is that how it works? Do you need to have a manager to find places to play?
Would probably help.
Yeah, maybe we're self-managed right now.
Somebody knows who to talk to.
Yeah. A lot of people are part of some smaller independent labels, promoters, that kind of thing. But not us. Not yet.
Not yet. Is that something that you would like? What is, if you didn't have, don't think outside the box and think just what you'd like to get. What's that? What is that? How is the future of Selma Street Chemical Company, the optimal future that you see? Just paint a picture.
If you like play shows at great local festivals, there are so many. And
Festival scene we'd like to break into,
Yeah.
Jazz Fest. We do
French Quarter Fest. There's so many
Quarter Fest.
venues and stuff. We've never played
Oyster
at any
Fest.
big festivals. Oyster Fest, yeah.
Hogs for the
Barrett Street Fest. There's endless
Nice.
festivals.
There's a
lot of festivals.
There's multiple stages at every festival.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
Yeah,
trying to
connect with yourself.
We've got to crack that.
Okay, so it's you'd like to keep it local, like play local festivals, not becoming like a band going around the world. What is that sweet spot that you're looking for?
I don't think we've ever talked about like taking it on the road or anything, but like our main thing is like we want to give back to the city with so much great live music, with our own live music. Just be a part of that.
Well, sounds good. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. And we didn't speak about this, but really, I think it's important to discuss your influences. What are do you find that, across the board you have more or less the same taste or musical background, or, is there a huge difference that meets in the middle while you're playing?
I'd say there's a sizable overlap in all our musical tastes. And, each of us has our own weird music fetishes, but, in
Speak
general,
about that.
there's like...
Talk about that.
There's got to be a better way to say that.
Yeah. Ryan's like a walking classic rock encyclopedia, and he's turned me on to like all sorts of great like deep jazz stuff that like I never would have like probably found on my own. And I've gotten really big into like country and folk over the past couple of years, and I think you like kind of hear a little bit of that on the recording. And we all kind of like prog and like psychedelic stuff too a little bit. What do you like, Rob?
There's a strong Pink Floyd current that runs through our tastes.
Yeah, we cover some Pink Floyd, we cover some Grateful Dead, some T-Rex.
Velvet Underground.
Yeah. And then give it a country twang, I guess.
Well, that's fantastic. What's the influence to the lyrics and what are the topics that you normally discuss? In particular for this song, what is it about?
For this song, I guess I took an approach of, stuff that sounded cool. It was kind of written in parts, and like it was just the phrase "leave me in ashes" with a kind of doo-wop feel. And I was like, what does it mean? So I started to try and like apply my own life to like a thing, and it's about like leave me in ashes, like the stuff you leave behind or the people who leave you behind, trying to just move on with everything you've got. Basically, it's like it's supposed to be an uplifting thing while sort of nostalgic too, like being pulled in both directions or whatever, There's like a duality to existing where you're like alive in both parts of the past always and going forward. So I don't know, parts of it like, are stuff that I remember from, being a young lad in New Orleans running around and being foolish and being a foolish adult. So it's, I like to think it applies to people in some way, or that it even comes across in some way. Hopefully I express things in a way that people sort of just feel whatever they want, and it's almost impossible to understand what the lyrics are.
I like that. I like those type of lyrics. They are open, to make it your own, to acquire them and put it in your life, adapt it like a skin to your life. And is it you? Is that are you the one who always writes the lyrics?
Sometimes, almost always. Some songs I do like different approaches. There's so many lyrical approaches you can take, so you gotta try them all to see what's good. And I don't know, sometimes you write something, you're like, well, I don't cringe as hard when I hear those lyrics, so go with that. And you gotta take different approaches to get to that point where you can listen to yourself.
Is that difficult? I find that difficult for a lot of musicians, like to listen to yourself. How is that? How does it feel?
Oh, it is difficult to listen to myself. Fortunately, I just sing on my own and in my house and in the shower in front of my roommates so often that I just stop minding hearing myself. I've become inured to it, sort of inoculated to myself.
Are you very self-critical? Are you very all of you guys, are you very self-critical? Like, are you pointing to every, I missed that note or whatever? Is that something you do? Just in general.
Yeah. It almost gets to like the point where we had to stop letting me mix things because I'd tweak things ad infinitum and just give it to our buddy Nick to...
Taylor puts so much into these recordings, into this production. It is insane. He learned like multiple different everythings, like the interfacing with programs, how to record, all this stuff. He just learned so much. It's insane.
We're posting new tracks on our Bandcamp as we get them back from the mixing master.
Okay, so let's talk about then. Where can we find your music, and what are the sites or the platforms that you are on? Let us know. And also, if you have upcoming gigs, what are those places that we can find you? Just give me an overview, please.
Bandcamp, I guess, is the place to find the music. If you just Google Selma Street Chemical Company, you should find all of our outlets. We got Bandcamp and Facebook and Instagram, and I think that's. We have a Twitter, but we don't put anything on it. And then, yeah, so any upcoming gigs will be cross-posted on all those platforms. So, yeah, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. You'll be able to find everything else. Selma Street Chemical Company, all spelled out the normal ways.
Excellent. Okay, well,
so keep your eyes on the social media. You'll
we'll find you on social media, and we'll be very happy to learn about any news that come from Selma Street Chemical Company, and it's been a real pleasure. Really, the music is fantastic, and we're gonna keep an eye on you and follow up very soon. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for talking with us, and all the best for the future. And to finish that recording.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
It's been great. Thank you guys.
Styles put on trial, then jail, then find somewhere away.
Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality at Leerecs.com.